So our last video 5 on action planning. We need to work out exactly what to do now and what to do next and focus on those things. So I've made that list for you and here we go. So doing now, what you need to start doing now, if you haven't done so already, is you need to discuss with your employees what options you're considering. You may want to revisit video 4 to go back over those options. But you need to hold discussions with the staff around what you're considering. You never know, they might come up with some other ideas that you haven't thought of. The second thing is that you need to do now is develop the letters for the employees, which are going to document the specific changes you'll be moving to. So you need to have all this documented. Those letters need to be given to individuals. You need to have these records on their employee files. So these letters I'm talking about might be stand-down letters, they might be a redeployment letter, a variation letter, but that is the document that will articulate exactly the details of the new arrangements that you're moving to. The next must do now is distributing the letters, followed by collecting the signed letters. I know that sounds silly, but I'm going to put these in as separate to do now items. Distribute the letters. So make sure you have evidence that the letter was given and when. So even though you might hand the letter to your employees personally, make sure you email it to them as well. So there is a trail of when it was given. Collecting the signed letters. You need these letters back. Other than the stand down letter or redundancy, you want to have the employee sign that they're in agreement with what you've proposed in the letter, and then you need to save it onto their employee file. The next thing to do now is cover off any IT capability changes that need to happen. So if you're going to have employees working from home, make sure you speak with your IT people really quickly and get this transition sorted so it can be as seamless as possible. The next one is communication plan. You need to get really clear right now on what protocols you're going to put in place as far as communicating between everybody, especially if you're going to have people operating in different teams at different times or different locations, working from home. Who is going to be the contact point if these people have questions? How often do you want the team members to be communicating with their managers or reporting in on work that they've completed, for example? So a communication plan is an absolute must, and communicating that communication plan to everyone so everybody's on the same page. Getting your key documentation sorted. So in a previous video, I was talking about workplace health and safety inspection checklists and how it's the obligation of the employer to ensure as far as possible that you're providing a safe workplace for your employees. So other than the letters that document the new employee arrangements, you need to have your working from home policy and workplace health and safety inspection checklist, the home office one, issued and signed off and put on their employee files. The next one is work schedules. Get really clear now on what the work schedules are going to look like. You need to work through who's going to be working and when, and make sure you communicated these very clearly to everyone so this all continues as seamlessly as possible. The final task on the to-do now list of the action plan, but definitely not the least, is to communicate. Now, you're probably sick of hearing me say that word. I've said this word many times throughout this video series, but this is the time your people need leadership from you. So communicate regularly, communicate authentically with them. The more that people are in the dark and left wondering, the more they will speculate, and that's when the rumor mill starts. Let's jump to what to do next. So this is what I'm calling the do next section of the action plan. My do next list is focused on the 5 HR strategies that are the most essential to the business moving forward. There's a lot of areas of HR that you could focus on, but this is the 5 that I believe are the most essential for you to focus on right now. Obviously, if there's vacancies that you need to fill, recruitment has to be a focus. Onboarding, if you've got new starters coming on, you need to onboard them professionally. Well-being, engagement, and the 5th area is compliance. So I'm just going to spend a brief amount of time on each of these. Recruitment, probably not going to be much going on for a lot of you in your businesses right now, but some businesses do have recruitment campaigns going on. My advice is don't waste money by running an inefficient recruitment process right now, or at any time, but now more than ever. Time is of the essence right now, and time is money. So if you don't feel you've got anyone, yourself or anyone in the business, that is the best person to run a really quality recruitment campaign, then use an agency or use a HR consultant to manage this for you. Onboarding is the second of the 5 areas that I think you need to focus on. If you're not recruiting, then you won't have any new starters coming on board. But if you do, then don't drop the ball on these new people. Now more than ever, you need to nurture these newcomers so that they ramp up to proficiency as quickly as possible. And you want them to stay with you through this COVID-19 nightmare era and beyond. So make that initial process of them completing all their new starter paperwork as easy, as streamlined, and as professional as possible. This is where the HR platforms make this stage of onboarding really easy and quick. So if you're a small or medium-sized business, a lot of large businesses have these platforms already. But if you are a small or medium-sized business and you're still operating without a HR platform, then you might want to look at what these platforms can do for you. You can give us a call and have a chat. We know a lot about these various platforms around the market, and they're at a very, very reasonable price point for smaller businesses. We use them with our clients, and you wouldn't believe how much quicker they can make HR processes, especially onboarding. The last thing I want to say about onboarding, focus on making sure you tailor the onboarding process for these newcomers. Having an onboarding checklist that makes it clear what the new starter will be learning in those early days, early weeks is great. You can move through it and tick things off as you go, so everyone's really clear on where the new starter is at as far as their development. Don't treat all new starters the same. Make sure that you tailor these early days and weeks depending on their level of knowledge across various aspects of their role, maybe, or their past experience working in an organization like yours. So you're onboarding them to their role, to the business, to the team. Okay, moving on to well-being. Now, more than ever, well-being is possibly the most important area of that HR can contribute to the business. So, as Bill Marriott, I like this quote from Bill Marriott from Marriott International: "Take care of employees, and they'll take care of the customers. We can't lose our customers. If we lose our customers, there's no use in having the employees, and the business all goes under. Everybody's out of a job." Business owners, think of your own well-being. Be aware of your own energy levels. Employees are going to be watching you, so practice your own self-care wherever you can. Engage in constructive behaviors that will help you move through this time positively. For example, touching base with the team on a daily basis, exercising, and generally looking after your own well-being, and even the feeling, even knowing that you're showing interest in supporting the well-being of your employees can usually give you a heightened sense of well-being yourself. So support them, asking them how they're coping, and just creating clarity for them. Employees, as far as well-being, this is a perfect time to provide your employees access to well-being initiatives, and there's so many options out there for this. We actually have our own well-being program that we offer our clients, and we're opening this up to um, those who are not clients. So communicating about self-care is something that you can do, and you might want to talk about the power of meditation, or you might have knowledge, or somebody in your business might have knowledge about a particular area of well-being: physical well-being, financial well-being, emotional well-being, mental health. So communicate about those things, about that information to your employees. If they're working from home, encourage them to set up routines. Encourage them to practice good self-care. When you run your Zoom meetings, I'm encouraging everyone to make sure that the video is on so we can actually feel more connected to each other because we're seeing each other's face. We've got two areas of HR that I feel are the last two areas that should be focused on at the moment. Engagement. To have your employees feeling engaged, you're going to need to make sure they actually feel connected to the business, to their colleagues. This is why communicating with them regularly is so essential. Communicating with them with empathy and validating that, I understand it's a really tough time now. How can I assist you right now? That sort of way of communication with them is going to go a long way to having them feel more engaged, and engaged with you as the business owner, engaged with their colleagues, engaged with their role and with the business overall is really important. So, I mean, running an annual engagement survey, which we do with our clients, right now is really not something I would advise, because you're going to get very skewed results. But you might want to look at using short surveys as a way to collect insights from staff on how they're feeling and thinking about working and working in your business right now. And those short surveys are usually called pulse surveys, and we run them with clients as well. So again, if you want to touch base with us about engagement, and ways that you can keep your employees engaged, just reach out to us. The final area is compliance. Now, compliance is possibly the last thing you want to think about right now. Fair work stuff, workplace health and safety stuff. But this is actually the perfect time to get your fair work and workplace health and safety compliance in order. As I've said in video 2, all the changes since COVID-19 have really brought to light in some business some compliance gaps. So, and that's created a hell of a lot more work for them, and concerns, and employee issues. So getting these compliance matters cleared up now, so that you can relaunch your business knowing everything is in order when it comes to workplace health and safety and fair work compliance. I really strongly advise that. So if you've got the time to touch base with us about that, very happy to run an audit. We're also offering at a very discounted rate at the moment, $25 compliance checks for workplace health and safety and or fair work. So you can contact us. In 30 minutes we go through all the areas of compliance with those two areas of the legislation, and we'll highlight to you any areas we feel that need to be looked at in more detail. So these are the 5 areas of HR I recommend business owners focus on after completing the do now items on your action plan, which I went through earlier in this video. And if you're wanting to discuss anything I've raised in this video or any of the previous 4 in the series, don't hesitate to contact me. My contact details are all over the website. You can email me, send us a message through the website. I hope this workforce recalibration plan I've taken you through has been helpful and given you some clarity as to the process you can follow to keep your business going and your people happy. If you have any feedback on this video series, I'd love to receive it. And if you have any ideas on specific topics, other topics you'd like to see videos on, just let me know. I'm Jackie Strawn from HR Tactics. All the best to you and your team.